Hi, it's Anne from the Useless Crafter. I'm doing this character from Paw Patrol. I think it's Marshall. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. But anyway, we are going to make him 30 inches. I've actually already cut him. I didn't save it because I was in such a rush to do it. So knowing what I know, I'm going to show you a couple of tricks, okay? But anyway, first things first, I made him, I believe, 30 inches. So I go over to the height. I always go to whichever one is longer. So in this case, the height's longer. I'm going to make it 30 inches, and then I just tab over and it will automatically make the width the appropriate length. So with him being so big, I like to go to my screen and I like to reduce it to 25% so that I'm not constantly moving things back and forth and scrolling. So, okay. I love this image for a couple of reasons. Everything is broken up. Like, look at, there's a lot of red going on, which sometimes I worry when there's a lot of one color because it's usually one continuous piece, which means you need to slice it. But in this case, like, I just love it. I love that the vest is broken down right here. So there's a piece right here. There's a little gray sliver that comes out here. It's great little detail. Even this little thing is broken up because you have this cuff, and then you have his, I don't know what his little weapon stuff, and then his hat. The only thing that I did need to slice was this the brim. But even with the brim, knowing that I was going to use red glitter cardstock, I was not concerned with it at all. So, okay, so let's get started. He's 30 inches. Let's ungroup because we want to move out all the colors over. And then what's left behind is the black background. So we're just going to move everything over. And okay, so we're left with this. Oh, the other thing that I did do, since I'm just reminded, I like to go over to the color section to see how many colors we have going on. And sometimes, if we have 3 different shades of blue and I know I only have 2 different shades of blue in cardstock, that's when I make the executive decision and I change one to another color. In this case, it looks like we have 2 grays. We have our black background. We have a gray where the badge and stuff is. And then we have this like darker gray. I make it all one gray. So here's what you can do. You can go to Color Sync and you can just move this little scope thing over to the gray area. And I promise you, it looks just as good because that's what I did earlier. Okay, so he's 30 inches. Let's bring in our squares because basically what we're saying is we're telling our Cricut that we want to make this image, but it's 30 inches by 19.2. So we can't send this to our machine as is. What we can do though is we need to slice this up into pieces that our Cricut can cut. So let's go to Shapes and insert our square. I like to make this square. This is where I go to the size and I just type in 11 inches. I mean, technically you can do 11 and a half, but I really just with all the details, I don't like dealing with half inches. So let's put our first square there. Let's go back to our layers. Let's duplicate because I want the same 11 by 11. All right, so what you do next is we're going to go and use the position feature over here. It's our x-axis and our y-axis. So basically we're telling where we want each item to be. So this square right now, just round up to whole numbers. So it's currently at 9.056, which means that on the x-axis it's 9. Here's our 9. And then it's just slightly over 9 at 9.056. And then you go down 3.056 is where this corner of our square is. We're just going to make it 9 and 3. So for our x coordinate, it's going to be at 9 even or whole and 3. Now, I like using the position feature for off the mat because we make it's definite. Like we want it flushed. We don't want things to overlap. We also don't want things to fall between the cracks. So this square, if you put it close enough, you don't even have to do the math. You can just go up here and round. So this is at 20.22. That means it should be at 20. This is at 3.11. It should be at 3. And you can also do the math. So this one was at 9. So if you add 11, this should be at 20, which is, it is at 20. Okay. All right. So now we want to basically cover our Paw Patrol character with all these squares. So you can select both squares by hitting the Shift key and selecting both, and then duplicate. Bring this down, and then we're going to go to the position feature again. Put it close enough so we don't have to do the math. It's already at 9, and this needs to be at 14. And then let's duplicate another set of squares and put it down here. Okay, and then go up here. This needs to be at 9 and at 25. Oops, 9 and then 25. Okay, so now we have a set of 6 squares that are totally flushed against each other. You then can go over here to our panel, scroll down to get our black outline. If you select it, it's the highlighted image. Then we can go to Arrange and Send to the front so that we have it up here. What you're doing here is you just want to make sure that where you're slicing is a good spot. So when I originally did this, I sliced it right here because I wanted the 2 paws. And it was great here, but it was not so good at the eye right here. This whole section was, there is a seam, unfortunately. Now, if you were doing black glitter cardstock as your background, I wouldn't be worried about it. But this really bothered me. So I'm actually, let's upload this image back in. Let's make it 30 inches. And that way we can see what we're slicing up, okay? So if I put him over where he is right now, and I'm gonna enlarge the screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna make it really big because this is important to me. Once you learn off the mat, it's not that hard, right? We're just slicing to make it cuttable on our Cricut machine. Okay, big deal. Now we know how to do it. Let's do a really good job and make it as amazing as possible. So if you look at this seam, this is my original one. It runs right here. All this black right here, it was just out in the open. It bothered me so much. And that was the only noticeable seam. I did not like that at all. So what you can do is let's reduce this. That was the only noticeable like black area. Oh, and it cut through here. Now, this is a tip, okay? So please pay attention. This is okay by itself because there was a seam running through. So what I did was I cut a black circle that just fit within the white, and then I just put the black circle in, and then it was seamless. So that was awesome here. So when you have small spaces like this, you can just cut a circle that's this big and put it in between your white layer and your black background. The seam disappears. This right here, though, unfortunately, there was so much like black going on. I just really couldn't fix it. So let's reduce it. We can move it over a little bit. We can slice right here, and this white will cover it. So you wouldn't even know that there's a black seam coming down. Or that's probably the best spot. Let's see. Okay. So let's reduce this now so we can actually see what we're looking at. All right. So I did not like cutting it there. We could move it. So let's move. I still want it here because I like not having a seam at all where the legs are. Okay, but let's see where that fits us. Okay, so this seam will cut across the nose. I mean, the nose you can do like over here earlier when I was telling you, you could just cut a black piece, but see, it's hard because there's a lot of black right here. So it's hard to just insert a piece right here without being noticeable everywhere else. But I do think that that's a good spot because this black line, it's cutting through here, darn it. Let's see if we can move him. This line comes down. Yeah, I think this is kind of the best spot. It'll run through the nose, but we can kind of cover up the nose a little bit. I wish we could move him up just a little bit more. That would be perfect. But this is still really, really good. So, all right, let's start slicing away. So you take one square at a time and the image. So you see, I'm not making a huge thing. I'm just in the top square and the image, and then I can go to slice. And then I'll do the same over here, and I'm just going to make my way all the way around. And so then I now will have 6 pieces that are that can be cut by the Cricut. Is that a good spot? Sorry, I'm a little worried about this little thing. So let's slice. Okay, so now we have our 6 pieces. Then what I like to do is I do like to move my pieces over, and I keep them in the same spot so that I don't need to worry. I don't need to think about where things need to go. When I pull a piece that looks like this, I know it's my middle left piece. And we're dealing with a lot of pieces. Every little clue helps. It's emotionally draining. All right, all your excess pieces from slicing, just highlight it and delete it. So here's our black background. So look at the individual pieces. This is now 11 by 11. We can cut on the Cricut. This is 7.8 by 9.4. So these are all good pieces. And we know it's good because we sliced it with the 11 by 11 square. All right, so let's go. I am going to I'm going to just bring in a couple squares for later for slicing some of these images. So, and I'll tell you why I do that. So for instance, let's look at this blue. This blue, it's 5.3 by like 2 inches, let's say. We could technically cut it just like this, but you're wasting all this space here on your blue cardstock. So what I like to do for pieces like this is I like to slice it, and I just make this big. I want to make it big because I'm going to reuse this same piece to slice other things, okay? So you want to take a piece of, you want to cover that one blue piece, highlight the 2, and slice. And now I'll have this blue piece by itself. I can get rid of this. I don't need that. And here's my other blue. So when I go to actually cut this, I can put these 2 together like that. And look, now I'm only taking up a smaller piece, I think, than it was before. So you can make it fit however you want to. Okay, let's look at this yellow. Same thing with the yellow. You can either slice or contour, but since I already have my pieces here, let's slice out this bottom yellow. So it needs to be covered by this square, and then I'll just grab the 2 and slice. And then see how it's apart now? And look, I can slice this top piece now. And you see, like, I'm not moving a whole bunch of things around. I'm just picking up 2 items at one time. I'm picking up all the yellow and the gray square. And then now I can slice it. And now I can move this and get rid of my slice results. I don't need those 2. But now look at my, oh, sorry, let me delete that. Now I have this yellow by itself, this yellow. So like I'm really efficient when I go to cut it. I'm not wasting a lot of paper. And then this, I can move over here and let's slice this last 2. So now I have this yellow piece. I'll remove this, and then I have all my yellow like that. So this little corner won't take that much up of yellow cardstock, whereas before it was like all over the place, okay? All right, so let's see. We know we have a lot of white, a lot of red. The tongue is by itself already. It's all good. Here's my gray pieces. So my gray, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start slicing it out. So here we go. I'm going to slice out the badge or the little emblem that goes on the top. And I'm going to cut it just like this all together. I'm going to leave it together. I'm going to now get this little circle. And you see I'm using the same square. So you can just keep doing that. You just want to make sure that you cover up the piece by itself. And so then you can move it. All right, so let's do this one over here. All right, so now I just have this little, I don't know, sliver. This little sliver goes right here. It's such a cute little detail, and it's actually not as small as you think it is since I've already cut it. All right, let's slice that. Okay, so now this piece is by itself. So all of this can be cut together, cut more efficiently, and will fit all on one piece. All right, so what do we have left? We have really just the hat and the white piece. So, okay. So I'm gonna get rid of this little square. We've used it quite a bit. Now I'm going to make this square big, and I am going to separate my red. So slice. And then get rid of your slicing results. We don't need that. Okay, so this little guy is 12.2 by 8.43. So it is too big to cut if you're using 12 by 12 cardstock, which I did. So what I did then was I separated out this piece from this piece because that's what's making it so long is this little thing right here. What you could do is actually let's contour. So I'm going to basically separate this guy, this little red sliver, and this little cylinder right here. So I'm going to make it two pieces. So I'm going to duplicate because however many pieces you want to separate this into and you're using contour, you need that number of pieces or images, copies of the image. So I'm doubled, right? Let's go to contour and watch this magic. If you don't know contour, which I didn't for 2 years, I feel like, what an idiot move. So anyway, this is what we have right now. When I select this, I'm saying remove that from my image. Remove this from my image. And when I get out of it, now I have just this. And look, now it's 9.6 by 8.44. Awesome. Now I want to erase everything but these two, right? Because I still need these two for my actual piece. So let's select this and go to contour. And you can hide all. It will leave one piece because if it erased everything, if it hit everything, the whole image would disappear, right? So what you want is you're going to select this. I want this piece and I want this piece. I don't want you. So I deselect it basically. And let's go out of it. And there it is. So here is our piece from before, but everything fits on our mat. I kept all of this together because it did seem pretty aligned and efficient already. So that's how I cut my piece. All right, so now we have this little guy. Let's use slice to get rid of that little piece from there so we don't have so much wasted space. Slice that. So we have our hat now separate. We have this little piece separate. So this, when you cut this, you can put this here and you can save all that space. Okay, now this brim is too wide. It's 15.688. So I'm going to contour again. I want to separate the brim from all of this. So I'm going to duplicate the image, go to contour, and let's get rid of this. and this. So here's our hat. It's now 8.8 by 5.44, which I think is fine. And it's pretty efficient already. I'm going to keep it like this so I don't have to think about it. Let's get just our brim now. Contour. Let's hide all. And so let me just show you what this looks like. So I hid everything. The only thing that's left is the brim, but it's without that little slice in the middle. So you want to go back to contour and you're going to tell this piece, like, I also want you in this. So it's going to cut out that little piece. All right, pretty cool, right? All right, so I used red glitter cardstock. I know my red glitter cardstock. It will hide the seams, and this is not that wide. If you look, if I cut somewhere over here, this whole thing is like less than an inch, this little slice right here. So I'm just going to bring this over here and do this. And now select the two items and slice. So now I have a big portion of the brim, which is 10.8, totally cuttable. And then I have this piece over here, which is now cuttable. And seriously, when you put these two together, if you look on my Instagram, The Useless Crafter, I do a close-up video of this. You can't even see it. I actually have to run my fingers through to feel where it was cut. All right, so let's get rid of this square. We don't need that anymore. So now our red is all good. All we have left is our white piece. Just moving this over. And I'm going to separate the face from the legs. And technically you could contour everything, but this is a lot of contouring. So I just want to separate out. So then I will contour, but it's just a lot easier when we're not selecting a bunch of pieces. So let's highlight the two items, slice. So now my bottom half is separate from my head. And then now I can get rid of this. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so this is 13.6 by 9. So what I did was I got rid of this ear. I separated the ear out, and it's not even slicing because it's a separate piece. So we need another copy of that because I'm going to have the face as one and a copy of the ear. Go to contour. And we're going to say, I don't want this, and I don't want this. And so now we have just the face, and look, the face is 9.8 by 9, so it's totally good. And now I need that ear. So let's contour. Let's hide all, and we say we want this ear, and we want the little cutout. We don't want the face, so we deselect that. And then there's our ear. I really love contour. Okay. Here we could, just get rid of the square. We want 3, I'm going to cut this by itself, cut this leg by itself, and cut this by itself. So I need three copies of this. So I'm going to highlight it, duplicate. So here's copy number 2, and then copy number 3. And then let's go to contour for the first one. And I basically want to hide all. It kept this for me. I want the little cut out, so I'm selecting that. I also want this one, and I guess I want this guy. That's how I separated it, right? So here's my first piece. It's 6.8 by 11, all good. Here's my second piece that I want to contour. I want the middle leg, so I'm going to hide all. I want this. I want this, and this. I don't want this. So here's my middle leg, and then I want my left leg. So let's go to contour, hide all. I want this piece, and I want this little toe right here. I don't want this. And there you have it. Yay! Let's save it. So Paw Patrol 30 inches. He's gonna look really good. I used Cricut glitter cardstock, which is on sale right now. It's 50% off, so it's pretty good. And then if you have access, it's another 10%. And then if you throw in like a Melody Lane code. I think her code is happy. It's another 10%. So it's a really good deal right now. I used red glitter cardstock, the blue, the gray. The yellow was from Cricut, but it was from their like sorbet sampler that they don't do anymore. So if you want to stay true, you need to go yellow somewhere else. You could just do regular yellow cardstock. If everything else is glitter, it looks really good. The pink, I use glitter Cricut, and then the red. So, okay, let's go to make it. I just want to show you how I organize my mats. So, depending on what you have, like here, this little piece, I might just stick it in the middle so I'm not taking up more space. Or I could move this in here, move this stick like up here, let's say, and then, I don't know, depending on what you have, but you can make this better, right? You don't have to leave it the way the mat takes it out. So this is much more efficient because if you were using a brand new 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, then the next time for your next project, you have all of this left to use and it's easier to use that way. Okay, let's look at our whites. So we can definitely bring in some more whites. I think I ended up using 2 pieces of cardstock for white. So since it's separated into 4, what I'll do is I'm going to make this 12 by 24 just so that I don't have to move a lot of things over. And then I'm just going to organize this little guy like so. How did I do it? I think I did. I think I flipped him around, put him up here, moved this over a little bit, and moved. What did I do? You know what? I think I sliced this out. So this could go over here. This could be flipped over like so. Okay, so right now it didn't work, but you can go back and slice out this part, and then the paws would all fit here. And then the face, you can move this. How did I do this? Oh, maybe I did this. There's a lot of activity going on in my neighborhood right now. I apologize for that. That is cutting it close. So this is the 12 mark. It's so close right here. I think we can move this guy a little bit like this. Oh, there. So now this fits on. So it should fit on 2 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. Our black, we can also consolidate a little bit. I think I did it in 4 pieces. So like this piece is pretty open, which means I can probably move at least this guy over to somewhere else. So when you select this one, go to the 3 dots, move to another mat. Move it to, I mean, I think he can fit here. There. Okay, so that fits. Let's see if we can move anything else. I feel like we should be able to. Let's see. If I move this over here, I think I can bring this over. Move to another mat. And let's move it over here. Oh man, it's like so close. Oh, where's my little... Will that work? Oh, it's so close. All right, so you can't... Can we do anything? I feel like I should be able to. Oh wait, does that work? Ah, yes, it does. Okay. So, you know, you kind of just like work your way around. But trying to save cardstock, it's just, that's best. All right, here we have this one. It is what it is. But you might have a sliver that's straight up and slender, so you move it like that. This one, you know, like that fits better. It just depends on what you have. Here's our blue. I mean, did this better. Oops. Obviously not that. All right, here. This is good. But remember, if we didn't slice this, it would have cut like this. I mean, what a waste of space, right? Okay, and then that's it. So you're not cutting that much. It was super easy to put together. I loved this piece. It was very, very cute. So, all right. Thank you for joining. Please, if you have any questions, I'm really good at responding, I promise. So just hit me up. Let me know. Let me know what else you want to see. I have a contest that I'm going to run right now. So please subscribe. My next video, I'm going to tell you the contest, but I'll give you a quick sneak peek. Basically, whatever project you're working on, if I pick you, and I'm picking a winner almost on a daily basis, as much as I can do, I will record a step-by-step tutorial of whatever it is that you want to do. So if you want Cinderella at 50 inches, I will record Cinderella at 50 inches, and you just have to follow along, and then you have your party. So if that's what you want, or if you want, I don't know, you can't do some logo that you pulled off, I will do it. So that's the contest. I basically want to teach you how to do something. And the reason why I'm doing it is that I have a few vacations coming up. I'm not bringing my actual Cricut maker, so I'm not working, but I want to continue crafting and I want to continue doing videos. So I will do your projects. All right. So I hope that sounds interesting. So subscribe, because that's going to be part of the contest is you need to subscribe. Sorry, I got to get something out of it. So, all right. Thank you. Bye.